Welcome to your AI Deep Dive. We've got 2 episodes of World in Conversation lined up for you, both titled Understanding Artificial Intelligence. So let's break down what AI really is, how it's already impacting your world, and what to expect as it keeps evolving.
It's interesting. People often imagine AI as some far-off sci-fi concept,
Yeah.
but it's already here, working behind the scenes in so many ways.
I hadn't really thought about it like that before. What comes to mind for me is like robots and self-driving cars, but it sounds like there's a lot more to it. So what is AI at its core?
At its most basic, AI is about enabling computer systems to perform tasks that typically require human intelligence, things like learning, problem solving, and decision making. But the way AI approaches these tasks is fundamentally different from human thought.
Okay, so how does it work?
AI relies heavily on algorithms, which are essentially sets of instructions that tell a computer how to process information. But the real game changer is machine learning.
Right. I've heard that term thrown around a lot. Could you unpack that for me?
Think of it this way. Imagine you're trying to teach a computer to recognize different types of flowers. In traditional programming, you'd have to write specific rules for each flower, like if the petals are red and the leaves are shaped like this, then it's a rose. But with machine learning, you feed the computer a massive data set of flower images, and it learns to identify patterns on its own.
So instead of being explicitly programmed, the AI learns from experience. That's kind of mind-blowing.
Exactly. And there are different types of machine learning. One is supervised learning, where you provide the computer with labeled data. Think of it like giving the AI flashcards. Then there's unsupervised learning, where you give it a bunch of data and let it figure out the patterns on its own, more like giving a child a pile of Legos and seeing what they create.
And the third type?
That's reinforcement learning, where the AI learns through trial and error, receiving rewards for correct actions and penalties for incorrect ones. It's like training a dog with treats.
Okay, that analogy I can get behind. So how is all this machine learning magic showing up in our everyday lives? I know you mentioned self-driving cars. But what about those less obvious ways AI is impacting us?
Well, think about those personalized recommendations you get on platforms like YouTube or Netflix. That's AI powered by collaborative filtering, a type of machine learning that analyzes your viewing history and compares it to millions of other users to predict what you'll enjoy.
You're right. Those recommendations can be eerily accurate sometimes. Like they know me better than I know myself. What else?
Take social media, for example. AI curates your feed, deciding which posts you see based on your past interactions and the behavior of users similar to you. It's also being used to detect and flag fake news, which is a huge challenge in today's information landscape.
Wow, I had no idea AI was so deeply embedded in those platforms. And I've heard a lot about AI in healthcare. What are some of the ways it's being used there?
This is an area where AI is truly making groundbreaking advancements. Take image analysis, for instance. AI algorithms can analyze medical scans, like X-rays and MRIs, to detect subtle patterns that might be missed by human radiologists. In fact, there have been cases where AI has outperformed human experts in detecting certain types of cancer.
That's incredible. It's like having a second set of superpowered eyes to help diagnose patients. So AI isn't just making our lives more convenient, it's potentially saving lives.
Exactly. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. AI is being applied in countless other fields, from finance to transportation to education.
Okay, so we've established that AI is already a big deal, but it sounds like this is just the beginning. What's next for AI? Where do you see it going in the future?
Well, one area that's particularly exciting is the development of advanced robotics. We're moving beyond simple, repetitive tasks and towards robots that can learn and adapt to complex environments, work alongside humans, and even perform delicate procedures in fields like surgery.
Surgical robots. That sounds both fascinating and a little unnerving. What kind of impact do you think this will have on the healthcare industry as a whole?
The potential is truly transformative. Imagine a world where surgical robots can perform minimally invasive procedures with incredible precision, reducing recovery times and improving patient outcomes. It could revolutionize how we approach everything, from routine surgeries to complex organ transplants.
That's an incredible thought, but I can't help but think about the human element. Will surgeons become obsolete?
It's a valid concern, but I believe it's more about collaboration than replacement. AI-powered robots can augment the skills of human surgeons, providing them with real-time data, assisting with intricate tasks, and even alerting them to potential risks during a procedure. Ultimately, it's about combining the expertise and judgment of human doctors with the precision and capabilities of these advanced
That
robots.
makes sense. A true partnership between human and machine. So, robots in the operating room. But what about robots in other industries?
Absolutely. Think about manufacturing, for example. We're already seeing a rise in automation, with robots taking on repetitive and potentially dangerous tasks. But as AI advances, these robots will become even more sophisticated, capable of learning new tasks, adapting to changes in the production line, and even collaborating with human workers in a seamless way.
It sounds like we're heading towards a future where humans and robots work side by side, each playing to their strengths.
Exactly. It's about creating a synergy between human ingenuity and artificial intelligence. And this collaboration isn't limited to just blue-collar jobs. AI is also making its way into more creative fields, like art and music.
Okay, so we've got AI composing symphonies now.
Not quite symphonies yet, but we're getting there. AI algorithms are already being used to create original musical pieces in various styles. Some platforms allow you to input certain parameters, like genre or mood, and the AI will generate a unique piece of music based on those inputs.
Wow, that's wild. But is it really art if there's no human emotion or intention behind it?
That's a question that's sparking a lot of debate in the art world. Some argue that true art requires human expression and emotional depth, while others believe that AI can create works that are just as aesthetically pleasing and thought-provoking as those created by humans. Ultimately, it comes down to how we define art and whether we're willing to embrace new forms of creative expression.
It's like AI is challenging our very definition of creativity. So
hmm
we've got robots in the operating room, robots on the factory floor, and now robots making art. Where else is AI making a splash?
One area with enormous potential is sustainability. AI can be a powerful tool in addressing some of the most pressing challenges facing our planet, like climate change and resource depletion.
Okay, give me an example. How can AI actually make a difference in those areas?
Let's take energy efficiency, for example.
Hmm.
AI can be used to optimize energy grids, making them smarter and more responsive to fluctuations in demand. This can help reduce reliance on fossil fuels and promote the use of renewable energy sources.
So AI can help us transition to a greener future. I like the sound of that.
Exactly, and it goes beyond just energy. AI can be used to monitor deforestation, track endangered species, and even develop new materials that are more sustainable and biodegradable. It's about using the power of AI to create a more harmonious relationship between technology and the natural world.
It seems like AI has the potential to solve some of humanity's biggest problems, but I'm curious, you've painted a very optimistic picture of the future with AI. Are there any downsides?
Of course, like any powerful technology, AI comes with its own set of risks and challenges. We need to be mindful of those and work proactively to mitigate them.
Okay, let's dive into those risks. What are some of the things we need to be cautious about as AI becomes more integrated into our lives?
One of the biggest concerns is the potential for job displacement. As AI becomes more sophisticated, it's inevitable that some jobs currently performed by humans will be automated.
You know, I actually have a personal connection to that. My grandfather was a typesetter back in the day. When computers and desktop publishing came along, his entire profession basically vanished. It was a tough transition for him.
That's a poignant example. It highlights how technological advancements can disrupt industries and displace workers. And with AI, we need to be prepared for similar disruptions on a potentially larger scale.
So how do we prepare for that?
It's about being proactive, investing in education and retraining programs to help workers adapt to the changing job market, fostering a culture of lifelong learning, and encouraging people to develop skills that are complementary to AI rather than easily replaced by it.
Right, so instead of fearing AI, we need to figure out how to work alongside it. Embrace it as a tool that can enhance our capabilities,
Hmm.
not replace them entirely.
Exactly. And there are other risks to consider as well. One is the potential for bias in AI systems.
I've heard about that. Can you explain how that works?
AI algorithms are trained on massive amounts of data. And if that data reflects existing societal biases, the AI system can learn and perpetuate those biases. This can lead to unfair or discriminatory outcomes, particularly in areas like hiring, lending, and even criminal justice.
That's a serious concern. It's like we're baking our own prejudices into these AI systems.
Exactly. That's why it's crucial to be aware of this risk and take steps to mitigate it. We need to develop AI systems that are fair, transparent, and accountable.
So it's not just about the technology itself, it's about the people who are developing and deploying it.
Absolutely. The ethical considerations surrounding AI are just as important as the technological advancements themselves. We need to ensure that AI is used for good, that it aligns with our values, and that it benefits all of humanity, not just a select few.
Okay, so we've talked about job displacement and bias. What are some other risks we need to be aware of?
Well, another concern is the potential for AI to be used in ways that violate our privacy. AI systems rely on vast amounts of data, and if that data is collected, stored, or used without proper safeguards, it could be misused in ways that infringe on our personal freedoms.
Right, all that data about our online activity,
Yeah.
our shopping habits, our location, can feel a little invasive when you think about it.
Exactly. That's why it's so important to have strong privacy regulations in place and to be mindful of how our data is being used.
It sounds like there's a lot to consider as we enter this new age of artificial intelligence. A lot of potential for good, but also some significant risks that we need to address head on.
I agree. And as we move forward, it's crucial that we engage in open and honest conversations about these challenges. We need to work together to ensure that AI is developed and deployed in a way that benefits all of humanity.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about the amazing potential of AI in healthcare, manufacturing, even art, but we've also acknowledged the risks, job displacement, bias, privacy concerns. Where does that leave us? What's the takeaway for our listeners who are now probably feeling both excited and a little apprehensive about this AI-powered future?
I think the key takeaway is this. AI is a powerful tool, but it's up to us to decide how we use it. It's not about fearing AI or blindly embracing it. It's about understanding it, questioning it, and shaping it to create the future we want to see.
It really feels like we're at a crossroads. AI has the potential to revolutionize so many aspects of our lives, but it also comes with these ethical challenges that we can't ignore.
You've hit the nail on the head. It's a pivotal moment. And one of the most fascinating aspects of this AI revolution is how it's forcing us to re-examine what it means to be human.
You mean that?
Well, as AI systems become more sophisticated, they're able to perform tasks that we once thought were uniquely human, like writing poetry, composing music, even making complex decisions. This raises some profound questions about the nature of consciousness, creativity, and even free will.
It's like AI is blurring the lines between human and machine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this blurring of lines is forcing us to confront some fundamental questions. What are the essential qualities that make us human? What does it mean to be sentient? Can a machine ever truly replicate human consciousness?
Those are some deep philosophical questions. And I have to admit, it's a little unsettling to think about AI becoming so human-like.
I understand that feeling. It's natural to feel a sense of unease when we're confronted with technology that seems to challenge our own uniqueness. But I think it's also an opportunity to reevaluate our own values and priorities.
So instead of fearing AI, we should embrace it as a chance to learn more about ourselves.
Exactly. AI can serve as a mirror, reflecting back to us our own strengths and weaknesses, our creativity and our limitations.
You know, we talked a lot about the potential impact of AI on society as a whole, but I'm curious about the impact on individuals. How do you think AI will change the way we live our daily lives?
Well, in many ways, it already has. Think about those personalized recommendations you get on streaming platforms, the navigation apps that guide you through traffic, the smart assistants that respond to your voice commands. These are all examples of AI, subtly shaping our daily routines and influencing our decisions.
It's true. I rely on those things all the time. But as AI becomes even more sophisticated, do you think it'll become more intrusive?
It certainly has the potential to be. If we're not careful, AI could lead to a world where our choices are constantly being nudged by algorithms, where our privacy is eroded, and where we become increasingly reliant on machines to think for us.
That sounds a bit dystopian.
It could be, but it doesn't have to be. The future of AI is not predetermined. It's up to us to shape it.
So what can we do? How can we ensure that AI is used for good
Hmm.
and that it doesn't infringe on our freedoms
Sure.
or dehumanize us in the process?
I think the key is to be informed, engaged, and proactive. We need to educate ourselves about AI, its capabilities and its limitations. We need to be aware of the potential risks and work to mitigate them. And we need to demand transparency and accountability from the companies and governments that are developing and deploying these technologies.
That sounds like a call to action.
Yeah.
But where do we even begin? It all feels so overwhelming.
I understand. But remember, we don't have to become AI experts overnight. Start by simply being curious, read articles, listen to podcasts, attend talks. The more we understand about AI, the better equipped we'll be to navigate this rapidly changing landscape.
That's good advice. And I think it ties back to something you said earlier about AI forcing us to re-examine what it means to be human. If we can embrace that challenge, maybe AI can actually help us become more human, not
I completely agree. By confronting the ethical and philosophical questions raised by AI, we're forced to think more deeply about our own values, our purpose, and our place in the world. And that kind of introspection can be incredibly valuable.
So in a way, AI is giving us the chance to rediscover ourselves, to reaffirm what makes us uniquely human.
Precisely. And that's a message I think we can all take to heart.
Well, on that thought-provoking note, we've come to the end of our AI deep dive. It's been an incredible journey, exploring both the amazing possibilities and the potential pitfalls of this transformative technology.
It's been a pleasure sharing these insights with you. I hope our listeners feel empowered to continue exploring this fascinating field and to participate in shaping the future of AI in a way that benefits all of humanity.
Absolutely. And remember, the future is not something that happens to us. It's something we create. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, stay curious.